Thanks. Got it rolling?
Yep.
Okay, we'll do a roll call. Mr. Davis.
Here.
Mr. Castellano.
Here.
Smith. And members Pittner and Williams are absent. Okay, we have two sets of minutes to approve. Minutes from August 5th. So everybody had a chance to read those?
Yes.
I have a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve the August 5th, 2025 minutes and the September 9th, 2025 meeting.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, passed. And then we also have the minutes from September 9th.
All right, I rolled them all up.
Oh, sorry. All right, we're good to go then. Okay, we have a text amendment proposed change.
All right. So in your packet, you'll find the proposed language. It's dealing with structures at town parks, well, parks generally, public parks, whether that be town or county or state owned. There's two additions that are being proposed. The first one, you'll see there, subsection B. Structures customary to public parks and playgrounds are allowed regardless of the presence of a principal structure. Generally throughout the town, we would require some sort of a business to have a principal structure, and then they can have accessory structures. So this would allow picnic shelters, bathroom facilities without having to have like an office space or something like that. The second one is subsection C. All setbacks for structures customary to public parks and playgrounds shall be a minimum of 10 feet or 1/2 the distance specified in the applicable zoning district, whichever is greater. This does not apply to park structures used primarily for office space or storage and maintenance equipment. So the idea is if it's going to be a large building such as an office or a building that we're going to keep equipment in, well, whatever the underlying zoning district setbacks are would be met. But this would actually reduce the setbacks by 50% for those other low for playground equipment, bathrooms, stuff like that, to be a little closer to the property line as long as it's at least 10 feet away. So minimum of 10 feet, most likely more unless it's a side property line, at which point it'd be 10 anyhow. But usually the front or the rear. And the reason that's important is because our zoning ordinance allows parks in any of our zoning districts. So you could have two pieces of property sitting side by side to one another. And if they're zoned differently, if the park's on one side, the setback would have to be 40 feet because it's a commercial. And if it's sitting on the lot next door to it, it may be 25 feet because it's residential. So we're looking to just kind of reduce some of that. So those are the only two changes. I do have for you a copy of our CAMA land use plan. We go through each time we talk about a rezoning request or a text amendment. Specifically our goals and implementation. Looking at our goals, probably the biggest aspect to this is starting at our community vision. Cedar Point is a small coastal community that prioritizes the needs of its residents. We will strengthen our identity as a recreational oasis, providing ample amenities for our residents while protecting our many natural resources. And then under the plan goals, you'll see the 5 of them listed there. And then there's kind of implementation actions. So when you get down to embrace recreational identity, the implementation action there is to continue to improve Boathouse Creek Park to expand public access, particularly through low impact uses such as kayak launches and passive park spaces. The kind of underlying need for this text amendment is out there at Boathouse Creek Park. The town plans to install a bathroom facility. That property is zoned RA, rural agricultural, which has a front yard setback of 40 feet, I believe. And so town board's looking to put the structure in about 25 feet back from that front property line. So that's kind of the underlying issue there. We already have the kayak launch, pavilion, and picnic shelter. But I felt if we're going to make changes, we might as well go ahead and clarify the accessory structure aspect of it as well at the same time. So that is it. Next page, I do have a draft consistency statement for you if you'd like to adopt it. basically says that text amendment 2025-03, a request to amend the UDO pertaining to park structures is consistent with the Town of Cedar Point comp plan. Because the proposed language further supports the town's vision to strengthen our identity as a recreational oasis, providing ample amenities to our residents while protecting our many natural resources. And specifically implementation action R1, which is to continue to improve Boathouse Creek Park. I'm open to any questions that you have.
Anybody have any questions, Phil?
Yes, just clarification, if you go up to the change, so parks and playground, comma, public. So is this for public or all parks and playground? Because then the reason for my question is you're going into paragraph C. All setbacks for structures customary to public parks and playgrounds shall be minimum 10 feet. This does not apply to park structures. So this is for public parks?
Yes.
Okay,
Not
there's
private parks.
no
There's-
private parks at all.
No.
So if we have a neighborhood go in, okay. Okay.
Bill, do you have anything?
I did. So where did the 10 feet come from then? I guess you're talking about the bathroom in the Boathouse Creek Park, and you said that you only needed 25 feet. So why not make it 25? Where do we get 10?
So that's just in case. So let's just say we want to put something along the back of a property that has normally a 20-foot setback. Right? This would
Right.
allow it to be as close as 10 foot to that property line, but no closer.
I guess I'm trying to figure out but why would we put something 10 feet from?
So the reason I included that is if we just simply said 50% of whatever is there, well, our side setback lines are already 10 feet and we don't want anything at 5 feet.
I guess I'm thinking more along like the greater, like that. You know, why would just, to me, it's like 20 feet or 1/2 the distance specified in the zoning distance. Just trying to figure out what like that.
Because every zoning district is a little different.
Because 10
and
feet
to
just
give-
seems awfully close to just wave it all the way to 10 feet. You could almost, fall onto it, right? This person's 6 foot. You're talking about putting it right from the.
But going back to your zoning district question, so if we were ever to get public land in a different zoning district, this would apply regardless of what zoning district it was in. Correct?
Correct.
Somebody donated land to us.
Yeah.
Kindness of their heart.
If you pull up. I'm gonna go through our different zoning districts. Everything has a 10-foot side setback. That doesn't change, with the exception, I think we do have an allowance for our B1 when they're like townhouse type condo type developments. But generally. In the RA district, which is where this park is,
Right.
the minimum depth of the front yard is 50 feet. Rear yard is 30 feet. So front would be 25, rear would be 15 in an RA district. In our 20 district, the front yard is 30 feet, so it would be 15 feet. So it still wouldn't be as close to the 10. The depth of the rear yard is also 30 feet, so again, it'd still be 15 feet on that one. R15, that one could be as close as 10 because the required front yard depth is 20 feet. But these are generally our smaller lots. So where that one would come into play, actually, would be if I pull up the map here. We have. Load here. You may remember we actually received this little piece of property as a town park as part of the development of Bridgepoint subdivision. Well, if you don't have really narrow setbacks on that, you're not putting anything on it.
Because that was in lieu of payment, they gave us the property.
So that would be one that,
Okay, that makes sense. If you just, can you go up to where the park meets?
based on it,
Yeah. So if you go up a little bit north,
furthermore.
yeah. So my concern is as you see up here at the end of Sweetgrass is I just don't want to do anything that is going to start bringing stuff right on there because I know that before one of my neighbors had expressed concern that people were using that as an entryway to try and go over back and forth into the park. And so when we started talking about like moving stuff within 10 feet.
So that would be considered a side property line, so it's
Okay.
10 feet anyhow.
Okay, so it's already 10 feet.
Yeah, that's already 10 feet on that side.
Okay,
However, just as a reminder, from basically this point right here to this point,
right.
is it not drawing my line?
It did grab it over.
There we go. From this point to this point, everything on the northwest side of that line is in the
Okay.
conservation easement. So there's very little development we can do in that area at all.
Okay,
We can put in some footbridges, some observation decks, a larger picnic shelter, and another pier under our restrictive covenants.
okay,
So everything as far as a development side would have to be on the southeast side of that line I just drew.
and what are we talking about for the bathroom? Is it down there? Okay, all right.
Yeah, so the bathroom. If I go back and show you, here's this line.
I'm good. If it's down there, you've answered most of my questions. I think that's all I had.
Well, I'm just gonna show a little bit of the history of it though for.
Sure. No, I'm happy. I'm happy to learn.
So here's the entrance to the park off of Masonic and Little Bay. Here's the front parking area. If, let me turn that layer off so we can see it a little clearly. I take the park layer off. So there's an existing septic field right here already that we're planning on using. And if you go back and look, there used to be a mobile home that sat out there, which was within that same 25 feet back then anyhow. So where we're proposing it would be right here on this corner. This is actually the meter, there's a meter base sitting out there right now. So it would be pushed as close to this parking lot as we could on this corner right here to avoid the septic field.
Okay.
But the only way to push it back that far would be to then move it over most likely into this area. Because otherwise we'd have to give up our parking area for it.
Okay.
Maybe it could have possibly squeezed right in here, but the Board of Commissioners preferred it in the original location.
Anything else?
That's it.
I just have one comment or suggestion. So in that subparagraph C, the last sentence.
Uh-huh.
That says that it doesn't apply to structures. I actually like the way you explained it when you described it, by saying that structures must comply with the underlying setback of the underlying zoning district. It just reduces any ambiguity as to by describing what does apply to structures instead of somebody saying that it doesn't apply to structures. That makes
Okay.
sense.
If you want to add that language in a
So
motion, that'd be,
right, so something like park structures used primarily for office space or storage of maintenance equipment must comply with that of the underlying. I'm sorry, let me start over again.
yeah, that's
Setbacks to park structures, etc. Must comply with that of the underlying zoning district.
How about, this does not apply to park structures used primarily for office space or storage of maintenance equipment, which must meet the zoning requirements of the underlying district, including all setbacks. Does that clarify it
I'm fine with that too.
I like yours better because yours sounds positive. That almost, it's like, you're like a legal speak.
Yeah,
His sounds more clear. Yours is like, the point is at the last end of the sentence. Yeah, anyhow.
but you can propose it. Okay, is there any other discussion? Any questions or comments from public? Do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the proposed text amendment with the addition to paragraph C. We'll go with what David mentioned and must comply with all underlying district setbacks. I think is what you said.
It's recorded.
Yes. So with what David said, that's my motion.
Including the consistency statement.
And I was gonna make that a second motion, but we can roll it in one, and adopting the consistency text statement.
Is there a second? All in favor? Okay, is there any public comment? No. Any comments from members of the board?
I do, so like as David put out the little button, please vote local. When's the local early election start? What, 18?
I think early voting starts on the 16th.
16th.
Mhm.
So please get the word out for
Western
neighbors.
Park is the local precinct in Cedar Point.
Yep. As one of the candidates mentioned in the panel discussion we had earlier or last week. Some candidates have won in the past with as little as 100 votes for a town with a citizenship of what, 1,800 right now?
Probably
So-
19 at this point, but yeah.
Yeah, so it's please encourage your neighbors to vote, and please yourself. Good to see everybody again.
Any other comments? Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second? Sure, favor?
Thank you.